Yesterday, a report has come out suggesting that the Cyclone Gabriel recovery in the Hawke's Bay and East Coast area, and particularly of the North Island, is about $3.5 billion worth of short, $3.5 billion short from what will actually put the Hawke's Bay economy back on the ground. A report that was commissioned by Hawke's Bay business interests suggests that if the proposed recovery funding and model to be used is delivered to the Hawke's Bay and to the Tairāwhiti area, it will not put those economies back on their feet, contributing. And indeed, there will be a significantly depressed regional economies, with many businesses folding and walking away and being unable to be rejuvenated again, particularly those of a horticultural background. Joining to talk about us that, but also more importantly about how the recovery is going, what the feeling's like, and what Esk Valley looks like, is former Member of Parliament for Hastings, Esk Vale resident, and also former Mayor of the Havelock North Borough Council when it existed, Jeff Whittaker, and he joins us now. Jeff, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Michael. Good to speak to you.
You too. Jeff, first of all, you live on this, you sort of live on the upper slopes of the Esk River Valley, don't you?
Yes, well, we do. We live on well, I guess it's one of the high banks, so we're not affected by the devastation in the valley itself, but we can see a good part of it. And
is there a clean-up operation? I was talking to Ashley Church, who you'd probably know as well, who lives a bit further down, I think, and he was saying that there's just silt everywhere still. It looks pretty much the same as it looked in the week or the days after the flood. Is that your impression too?
No, I would say that the Hastings City Council, or Hastings Council, who we're part of, funnily enough, the other side of Napier, they've done a great clean-up job, and so has the roading specialists. They've cleaned up most of the silt off the road, and of course, Highway 5 is open, but as far as clearing individual properties, there's been very little movement.
Yeah, maybe that's what Ashley was talking about. I guess the question is the silt going to be moved at all, Jeff? Is it just going to stay there? You're going to use it as a, future agricultural resource? Is that the story?
Well, nobody seems to know. I've spoken to quite a number who have vineyards or apple plantings, and the indication is that they're not going to, or they can't afford to do any renovation work, and things are very much up in the air for them. I think Mr. Apple has decided he's pulling out, which is a shame.
He's one of the major. It's one of the major corporate apple growers, is it, Mr. Apple?
Yes. Yes.
So when you say pulling out, you mean pulling out of Hawke's Bay or pulling out of Esk Valley?
Yeah, no, pulling out of Esk Valley.
Yeah.
The money, the funds required to reinstate this are beyond most individual businesses.
Which then leads to the next question. There seems to be, and this is a question that is going to have to be answered sooner rather than later, is it the responsibility of the New Zealand taxpayer to put people back in the circumstance they were before the flood, Jeff? Or at some stage, is there an acceptance that there is damage and financial cost and that can't happen? What's the mood of the community regards that? Jeff has gone. I'll get you to go and chase Jeff back again then, please. If you would do that, that would be really good. Thank you very much. No, one of the things that's come out of the report is I wonder at what stage New Zealanders or the New Zealand taxpayer goes no. It's a bit like, the NATO forces funding the Ukraine, really. And at some stage, the NATO forces go, nah, you've had enough.